9 young hikers walked into the frozen Ural Mountains in 1959. They were trained, experienced, confident, but within days, every one of them would be found dead. Some half-dressed in the snow, some with crushed bones, some with injuries no one could explain. Their tent was sliced open from the inside. Their footprints wandered into the dark. And the final hours of the Dyatlov Pass group remain one of the most chilling mysteries in modern history. The expedition was led by Igor Dyatlov. He was 23, calm, disciplined, known for planning every detail. His team included 8 others, students and graduates from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, strong skiers, skilled survivalists, people used to cold, danger, and isolation. Their goal was a winter trek through the northern Urals, a route so difficult it would earn them the highest Soviet hiking certification. They trained for weeks, prepared carefully. Nothing about the mission looked reckless. On January 27th, the group began their journey. They laughed in photographs. They wrote jokes in their diaries. Nothing suggested fear, but their final campsite would become a place known around the world as Dyatlov Pass. Dyatlov planned to send a telegram once they returned. The deadline passed. No message arrived. At first, no one panicked. Delays were normal in winter, but as the days stretched on, families demanded a search. Rescue teams moved into the mountains. The weather was brutal. Wind, ice, visibility near zero. After several days, a hiker spotted something half buried in snow, a tent, Dyatlov's tent. But nothing inside that tent made sense. The tent was collapsed, partially covered in ice, and sliced open from the inside. Clothes were left behind. Boots, jackets, flashlights, food, untouched. Rescuers followed footprints leading away from the tent. Bare feet, socks, one set belonging to someone wearing only one shoe. All prints moved in a single direction, down the slope. No sign of running, no sign of a struggle. It looked as if the group calmly walked into the darkness, as if something forced them out. But nothing explained why they left shelter in deadly -30 degrees Celsius cold. The footprints faded into the trees. And then, the bodies began to appear. The first 2 were found under a cedar tree, both stripped to their underwear. Their hands burned, as if they had tried to climb the tree for warmth or to escape something. Nearby lay Igor Dyatlov and Zina Kolmogorova, both frozen in the snow, both facing the campsite, as if trying to return. Their injuries were minor, bruises, scratches, marks from the cold. But 4 other bodies, found weeks later, changed the investigation. They were discovered in a ravine, buried beneath several meters of snow. One had a crushed chest, with force similar to a car accident. Another had a shattered skull. 2 were missing eyes. 1 was missing her tongue. Yet there were no external wounds. The skin wasn't broken. No signs of beating or weapons. It looked as if the injuries came from immense internal pressure. Theories began immediately, but then something stranger appeared in the reports. Traces of radiation were found on the clothing of 2 hikers. Not enough to be lethal, but enough to raise suspicion. Where did it come from? Why only some garments? Why in the middle of the mountains? Investigators could not explain it. The presence of radiation pushed the story from tragedy to something potentially much bigger. The Soviet investigation was short, uncomfortably short. Records were sealed, photographs restricted. Witnesses told not to speak. The official conclusion stated the group died from a compelling natural force. No detail, no clarity, no cause. After that, the case was closed. The region was locked down for years. The lack of answers fueled decades of speculation. Several theories emerged, each trying to explain the evidence without turning to fantasy. One theory suggests an avalanche. A sudden slide could have forced the hikers to cut their way out of the tent and flee, but investigators found no signs of a major avalanche. and the tent was still partially standing. Another theory involves military testing, parachute mines or secret weapons. This could explain the internal injuries and the radiation, but no documents have surfaced to prove experiments that night. Animal attack? Nothing supports it. No tracks, no torn flesh, and the injuries were far too severe. Some propose katabatic winds, powerful gusts that can disorient and terrorize people. But this still fails to explain the crushed ribs and skull. Others whisper about infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that cause panic and confusion. An interesting theory, but unsupported by physical evidence. And then there are ideas involving local tribes, Yeti legends, or supernatural events. None match the facts investigators actually recorded. The case remains a puzzle with pieces that refuse to fit. In 2019, Russia reopened the investigation. The new team considered only natural explanations. They proposed a small avalanche combined with darkness, fear, and freezing temperatures. Computer models later suggested that a slab of snow, not a full avalanche, could have slid onto the tent, injuring some hikers and forcing the group to flee. It's a plausible scenario, but critics argue the terrain was wrong, the evidence incomplete, and the injuries inconsistent. Modern experts still cannot agree. Even today, the Dyatlov Pass incident sits somewhere between science, speculation, and unanswered history. Why was the tent cut from the inside? Why did trained hikers walk calmly into deadly cold, undressed? What caused the extreme internal injuries with no external damage? Where did the radiation come from? Why were certain documents sealed for decades? And why did Soviet officials shut down the case so quickly? Each answer leads to more questions, and each theory leaves something unexplained. All 9 hikers entered the mountains with skill, discipline, and trust in one another. What happened next, on that frozen ridge in 1959, remains locked in ice and silence. No confession, no survivor, no definitive proof. Only a collapsed tent, bare footprints in the snow, and a mystery that refuses to die. The Dyatlov Pass incident stands as one of the most haunting unsolved events of the last century. A reminder that nature, history, and secrecy can combine into something far more unsettling than fiction. And until the final truth is uncovered, the pass will remain a place where 9 shadows still walk through the storm and vanish into the night.